What's up, everybody? It's your girl Diamond from the Voices Gathering Live podcast show. Welcome to a new conversation. It's a new week and a new conversation. Hey, what's going on? Where are my people at? Where are my gems at? Come on, where are my rubies, sapphires? Where are my pearls? And I don't mean names, I'm talking about specific gems. Where are you guys? Come on into the room, join the conversation. This is a brief conversation, actually a total change in what was planned for today's show. So come on in. I'm going to give you 2-3 minutes and we're going to start this conversation. If you're coming to the show, don't forget, do us a favor. Come on. Come on. As they would say, come on in the room. Come on in the room, everybody. Hey, Ira, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Hi, Naomi. Welcome to the show. Oh, I'm like, why is this not giving me what I want? Oh. It's good to see everybody come on in. Come on in the room. This is going to be a quick conversation. And then I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go. I posted a question in the chat. I would like you to answer that question. Think about the question. This is a conversation I would like us all to get involved in. If you're not a subscriber to the show, usually I have my Oh, there we go. Okay. I was going to say I already got some things plugged in. I can move this conversation really quickly and it's working. So thank God for that. All right. I put a question in the conversation here. I want you to think about this, really think about this, this question, make it personal for yourself. And then I'm hoping that this gem I'm going to drop in this conversation will resonate with you. And then you can share it with other people. I don't think too many people are talking about this conversation. If not, they don't talk enough about it. And it's very much a simple question. If you ask me, are you striving for greatness? Do you strive for greatness in your personal life? Do you strive for greatness? I'm moving on with this conversation. Don't forget, really quickly, house rules. We have a portion here is the Q&A questions and answer. Drop your questions, even your answers to any questions asked on the show, and or make sure you tell somebody about this. Thank you, Ira, for that. There will be some edits to the show. This is a live show, and it's a live show, so some things will be missed. But when I got my gems in the chats, when I got my gems supporting the show, I can make some edits to the show in the edit part after the show is aired. So thank you, Rob. I will address that a little bit later. Thank you for having my back. I appreciate it. Anyway, so we got the Q&A portion. So when the Q&A questions and answers, drop your question or an answer to a question in the chat. If it's something you don't want to ask in the chat, but you really want to have a more, you want to have an answer to it and you don't want to put it in the chat, you can email me at diamond@voicesgathering.com and I will get the email right on the spot and answer that question. Okay. Also, please do not forget to, as you enter, many of you already know this now. That's that thumbs up. Use that thumbs up to to like the show, the comment, something someone sharing. Just use it, please, and use the share button. This is going to line up to today's topic. Are you meant for greatness? So you can know if I'm talking about it with you, I'm making this topic more personal for myself. Am I meant for greatness? And I want to tell you right now, before I even delve into this conversation, absolutely. I am meant for greatness. And you're going to learn in this conversation about yourself, if you already don't know this, that you knowing that you're meant for greatness, there are people who believe you are not meant for greatness. And I preference that by saying that it doesn't hurt anybody to click that share button or the thumbs up button if you say you support me. Now, this is not a read. It's not to scold anyone. It's to say how this very thing that I ask every show actually resonate with. Am I meant for greatness? And I am, despite a lot of people don't come to the show. A lot of people don't click that thumbs up button, and a lot of people don't share it. Now, if you do, this is not for you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. No read, no scolding, but true transparency. In being great, you have to be honest with yourself and others. You cannot be great and muffle your voice so that other people are not easily offended by your greatness. And please understand, greatness is not a conceited thing. Now, there's some people who use their greatness in the wrong way. I don't know if that's you or if you know people like that, but there are people who use greatness in the very wrong way. They use greatness in a very narcissistic way because it's really all about them. And understand, living in your greatness space doesn't mean you're narcissistic in that space. And oftentimes when you're living in greatness, people who are threatened by that see that as narcissistic. Now, there are some people who actually think they're living in greatness space and using a narcissistic approach to it, very much have you questioning, which one is it? Which one is it? And that's what we're going to be talking about, because they're very, very different. Very different. So here is the question. What does it mean to live in greatness? What does it mean to strive for greatness? In my opinion, striving for greatness means that you will not settle for. Wow, Rob, as soon as I said that, here you go. Very much posting it. Absolutely. I am meant for mediocrity, and that's okay. I'm meant for mediocrity, and that's okay. Well, then I'm sorry, I was reading that a little bit too fast. So I'm not a mediocre person, right? Make it personal so you'll hear me preference myself a lot in this conversation. I'm not a mediocre person. Mediocrity does not work for me. I'm just never satisfied with just the bare minimum, right? I believe that you get one life as we know it, and it's my job to live this life that I know to the full potential. And living to my full potential means that I have to strive to go to the next level. I cannot be okay with status quo. I can't. There's so much in one's life, whatever that time span is to achieve greater things. And I don't mean materialistic things. Let's be clear. I'm not talking about materialistic things. You can have the biggest house, drive the fanciest cars, have all the money in the bank, and still not reaching great potential. Why? Because some measure great potential to wealth, personal gain. And for me, that's not that. Achieving those things are nice, but it doesn't stamp for me that I'm great. We'll talk more about that. Let me also just take a sidebar here. So you guys should know that as I am on the show live, between your comments and me speaking to you via this streaming platform, we are some seconds off. So I may have already said something and talked about something, and you now post your comment, and I'm still moving forward in the conversation. That means I have to go back and look at it, especially if I can read it in time that we're on the show. So please know that I am going to get to your question or comment. Also know, if I don't get to your comment or question on the show live, I go back and watch the show. if you want to see what my comment was to your comment or see if other people responded to your comment during the live show, go back and check it out. And let me tell you why that works also for the show, because it's also counted as another number of someone clicking and viewing the show. So it doesn't hurt to watch rerun shows or something that you enjoyed or you thought about something at a later time and you want to post a comment to it. I encourage you to do that. Now, greatness. I'm just not one to settle in my life. And yes, at times, striving for greatness, depending on what that greatness is, or actually across the board, it could be very overwhelming. Let me preference my show, right? Our show. This is our show. We are a team here. So, striving for greater with the podcast, and I'm only prefacing the podcast, so guys, don't start getting on your soapbox thinking, here she go talking about the numbers. I am going to be honest on this show. I do know that some people can't take it. Well, why is she talking about the numbers and people liking the show? Baby, that's what gets the show going. That is part of my greatness. That is part of my striving to reach the next level. Not settling for the minimal of mediocrity, but striving for greater things. That's what that means. It means that just this isn't enough. I've accomplished this. What's the next chapter? It's like a book. You start at the beginning of the book, the introduction of the book. You get a little understanding of what the story is about. And you start to break into chapter 1 all the way through the last chapter. And in that, you start to recognize, understand, or picture what the process is. And in this comment, it's greatness. That's what it is. It's greatness. There are many people in their personal life, right, settling for what they have already accomplished, whether it is a job, whether it's getting married, whatever that personal goal for you is. You may felt like, I've accomplished this, I've arrived, I am here, I made it. And I'm good. If that is you, then striving for greatness or greater may not be for you. That may not be what you want. I will be very honest. I don't understand how some people just settle. Let me not use the word settle, because for them it may not be settling. But I don't understand how some people just is okay with just, for me, the crumbs. Just the crumbs. Just the bare minimum. Anytime you engage in a conversation with me, if you know me, I would hope that you would see, well, she's never just okay with just this, or she did this, but she's talking about something else now. It's part of my chapters. It's part of me growing to greatness in whatever it is I'm doing. The show here is not great yet. It's in the birthing process of greatness. Therefore, if I settle for just the minimal, then this show will never reach its full potential, right? Let's preference a relationship. If you find yourself in a relationship and you're getting the bare minimum, then your bare minimum that you're getting, your relationship would never be the greatness you expect it to be. Because obviously you know and realize that you're getting the bare minimum. You work at a job, right? Oh, devalued, unappreciated, working for pennies. Are you okay accepting that? While rent is growing, while mortgages are higher, while it's impossible for so many to buy a home and provide for their family, but you will settle for the pennies. You will settle for being overlooked. That's just not me. And I can tell you by my personal relationship with people, for people who don't know me, to them it could be a bit much. I'm always striving for the next thing. And again, greatness has nothing to do with narcissistic. It has nothing to do with putting other people down because you feel better than them and they're less than you. It has nothing to do with that at all. It has to do with, again, for me, you were born in this world to do great things with your life. And the question becomes, why aren't you doing greater things with your life? How do we pass on the torch to our children if we're not doing greater things in our own life, but have the expectation that they have something great? Become independent, because becoming independent from your parents is a great thing. That may be a step for someone becoming greater. You understand what I'm saying? But if you are settling for the little bit, the bare minimum, the crumbs, then how is it that you're able to pass the torch? How can you bring greatness into a marriage when you are giving the bare minimum to yourself? You're not trying to understand yourself. You're not trying to understand what your purpose is in your marriage. Because I think some people got it twisted about what their purpose is in their marriage. The same as some people got it twisted about what their purpose is in their work of employment. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Okay. Miss Malabe. Hello, my love. Okay, greatness can be different for everyone. It's about developing the skills to see whatever or what you need to help in or to grow in. Thank you. Then make the efforts to work towards those changes and consistently grow. I agree with that comment. Naomi responded to Irob, I am wondering if you are thinking of being or saying staying humble. I respect you. And listen, before I finish Miss Malave comment, please don't take things personal in these comments. This is a true, transparent conversation. So if someone I've had people outside the show say, I did you take it like harsh? Or no, I don't take things harsh. I'm very passionate, if you know me, when I speak. So I speak with my hands. I speak with some assertive tone. I speak with confidence. I speak with, let me think about this. So don't take it personal. Please, people, don't take things personal. And I preface that because I saw how Naomi, who is always considerate of other people's feelings, OMG, is a good character about her, but then many of her friends, including myself, we go surround ourselves around her because we don't want anyone hurting her, because she considers everybody's feelings, which is a beautiful thing. But sometimes I'm afraid it might hurt her because she's always, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I don't think your comment at all, Naomi, was hurtful at all. So let me go back and read it again. She was responding to Ira by saying, I'm wondering if you are thinking of being or staying humble. I respect you are meant for greatness. I notice how fearless you say what you believe and stand for. I see you and admire that in you. Okay, a compliment right there, right? I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay. Hey, Jasmine. Agreed. It is easy to just settle. Yes. Yes. Absolutely, Jazz. Absolutely. And that means we can settle in a lot of different things. But please understand also, striving for greatness in whatever, I'm sorry. Hello, Lakeisha, my love. How you doing, girl? Striving for greatness in whatever space you're in requires work. And baby, when I tell you striving for greater things in whatever that space is not easy. Greatness does not become easy or come at a drop of a hat. If that would be the case, many of things that has happened in our history would have not been so. Because people would not be stepping on people's necks, dismissing other people, greed, narcissistic, whatever it is, because striving for your greatness isn't hurting anyone. Striving for your greatness may hurt some people, disappoint some people, because when they don't possess that greatness within themselves, what they end up doing is judging your efforts to strive for greater things, greater love, greater respect, greater income, greater self-worth. they will see that as a threat. And t- today's show was actually geared for a different conversation. That show is possibly going to air next week. All set to go. All I had to do was launch it, and I was ready for the show. Did the homework, the research, and just wanted to talk about it because someone came to me and talked about this, and I was like, "Oh, this is a good conversation. I need to talk about this," because I have been in that space, and from that show, the show is about micromanagement in the workplace and how you can be abused by those individuals who are overseeing you in the work you do or connected to the work you do. And preparing for that conversation, I was led to have a conversation about striving for greatness. And in that, I just preference again how people are threatened by you striving for greatness. Why are people threatened by your greatness? Just think about that. Why? I remember many times in my life when I was younger, I would try to minimize myself and my presence in the space of other people because they were impacted negatively, not all, but enough, by me striving to do greater. And striving to do greater means speaking up when something isn't working for me, something I don't understand, something that impacts me negatively, something that you should be accountable for, and I'm bringing it to your awareness. You probably already knew it, but it took time and it took some discomfort for me to strive and measure up and reach my full potential for what it is I want in my life. I'm just not a person to sit back with my arms crossed and watch my greatness go out the window. And I'm wondering, have you ever asked yourself that? Have you ever found yourself saying, I find that my greatness is leaving me. I find that the passion I have for my greatness is leaving me because someone or many people are blocking the opportunity for me to be great in the space I am in, i.e., friendship, employment, marriage, and so many other things. The church, let's not negate the church, honey. The church will, honey, step on your greatness. We have to be okay with people being uncomfortable with us striving for greater. We have to be okay with that. We must understand that, yeah, that's not a me thing. That's a you thing. So therefore, I'm not going to wear that. And you may not say that to them because some people, I know a lot of people would not be bold enough to say that. And I hate to say, but for some people, they would assume, or they would say, let me say assume, would say, especially if they've been in my presence when I spoke up about something, oh, girl, you might get in trouble for that. Who in the world? Wait 1 second. Wait. I am all full grown. I chose my marriage. I choose my friendships. I chose the job I would apply for. I chose the church I attend. Who are you or anyone to make me feel as if speaking up when something doesn't work for me or makes me uncomfortable or yet hurt me, that this is unacceptable? People, you're going to find that people are uncomfortable with you just saying, oh, no, no, ma'am. No. Now, could striving for greatness push you into compulsive behaviors, obsessive compulsive behaviors? That's not healthy greatness, right? Narcissistic, that's not healthy greatness, right? Putting people down to build yourself up, that's not greatness. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about standing in your truth, being honest with yourself, and realizing that the very thing you're doing with your life at this very moment, i.e., where you are in your space, is that enough? Have you said, oh, well, this is all. I'm just going to deal with this right now. I'm going to settle for this, and that's what it's going to be. I've been there. I've been there. Let's be very honest and transparent. I've been there on jobs. Again, I've been there in relationships where you're striving to do XYZ in relationships, and the people in those relationships is like, well, no. I don't want to do that. This is enough for me. Do you understand that striving for greatness also means that you, for the most part, and I was going to say have to. For the most part, you're connected to other people. You're connected to other people to reach your potential. No one reaches full potential greatness on their own, which is why it's so important for you to be very aware of your environment, how your environment cultivate you reaching full potential. If you connected to naysayers, them naysayer friends that don't show up for you Lord God, you got to beg them to show up. You got to almost kind of force yourself on them so they can show up for you. Them not the people that's going to see you to greatness. They are no way in this creation attached to you striving to greatness. They're not. They're not. If you're married to a woman and this woman is like, okay, she is not giving her full in that relationship. She is giving you the bare minimum. She don't know how to cook, clean. She don't know how to keep house. She don't know how to go out and earn a living. She don't know how to understand you when you're in a broken space. She don't know how to encourage you when you are weak. She's not connected to your greatness. And that's reverse. Same thing. If you're in a relationship with a man and a man is not plugged into you and supporting you reaching greatness, they're watching you claw up the side of the mountain of greatness while they're looking down. Oh, better yet, honey, they're not even looking down because they're not even up at the top for greatness. They're looking up, say, you getting up there? Oh, all right. Well, all right. I'll see when you get back. Then that person's not plugged into your greatness. If this makes you uncomfortable, don't get mad. Just ask yourself, come back and post a comment and think about it. Am I plugged into greatness? We get one life. What we do know, if you know nothing, you're born and you will die. Those are the two things we know for sure. That you're born, because you're here, and you will die. The question in this is, between the two, what are you doing? What are you doing? Who's plugged into you? Who are you plugged into? Don't wait for people to plug into you. Plug into some other people. Listen, when you see somebody making it happen, doing great things in their life, you might want to, especially if you know that this ain't where I really want to be, plug into that greatness. You want me to give you a hint? Plug into this show. I don't care to bring you mediocrity. I don't care to bring you the bare minimum. I care to bring you something that is authentic, honest, and transparent. I come to bring you something that is entertaining, depending on what your level of entertainment is, but yet informative. That's my greatness. When I enter into a room, I don't have any expectation that people will be bowing down to me and recognize my greatness. What's more important is that when I walk into that room, I know and own my greatness. My greatness is not dependent on what people see or view of me. Because if that would be the case, I'm telling you, I have seen some people that will look and just not even say hello or pay a compliment. You would think, and not that I'm expecting it. I'm not expecting it. Because, baby, when I get up in the morning and get myself together, whether it's running to the supermarket or to the office, I very much am empowering myself to feel good about me, to know that I am enough, to know that my greatness is not dependent on them, but on how I view myself. Know this. Know it. Now, in me knowing that, I understand that if I can show up and people can see there's something there, they may choose to plug into the greatness that I feel. That greatness that plug-in that they're plugging into only energizes me to keep pressing forward to my greater potential. Which is why I'm saying to you, make sure the people around you are plugged into you. And make sure those who are plugged into you are invested in you. Please know this. You don't want those people plugged into you, honey, but they plugged into you for the wrong reason. And all they're doing is sucking the energy out of you. They take more than they give. They don't see, but they only recognize their own needs. They smile in your face, and before you can turn your back, they got a knife in your side, not in your back. Those people you don't want plugged into you. They will suck the greatness out of you, especially if you're not paying attention. There's nothing wrong with wanting more from yourself and those around you. Nothing. Nothing at all. Where is this planet going to go? Where are the generations to come? Where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? Because I'm telling you what I see, the very people who this generation, our generation, and the ones right behind us, depending on what your age is, right? Our generation, the youth, oh my God. They're plugged into social media, and social media is dragging them down a very dark black hole. And the people who are responsible for those individuals are not paying attention, and they are losing them. They're losing them because they are not plugged into them. We must be plugged into the generation behind us, the youth. We must be plugged into one another so that we can do greater things. I'm telling you, this place called the world, the planet, the United States of that America, it's at risk, right? I don't know how it could survive, because the generation that's this generation now, this is not everybody, but for the most part, what we see is totally plugged into nothing of value. Nothing. And I think that has a lot to do where we are as a people. We're not striving for greatness because we care for our brother man. We're striving for greatness because we're self-centered, egotistic. You want to know what that looked like? Just look at the former president, Donald. If, honey, that is not somebody who was striving for self-greatness and didn't care about no one else, I'm not talking about that kind of greatness. I'm talking about something totally different. Hello, I believe this is, child. Is this Donna? Let me know. Oh, no, this is Dr. Hayes. Okay, Dr. Hayes. Okay, now we're using our new. Congratulations on your next chapter in your life. I'm so glad that you were able to achieve what it is that you were working hard for, that greatness. So, hello, Dr. Hayes. Which is, guys, if you notice the name before, Pastor Sam Hayes, now is Dr. Hayes. So let's just give him a hand clap in the comments for achieving this wonderful greatness that he has. Okay, so let me see. Miss Lakeisha says, I agree. I cannot be around relationships where there is no reciprocity. Absolutely. And oh my gosh, Lakeisha, you and I have had many conversations, countless, and we can see that a lot of people that we were plugging into, the reciprocity was not there. So we had to what? Unplug. Okay. Dr. Dr. Hayes. Good evening, Diamond. This is Dr. Hayes. What is your suggestion when ambition begins to cloud compassion? It seems to me becoming great at times is measured against those less ambitious ambitions. Okay, let's just break that question down. Okay, so for me, I felt like I kind of preferenced this by saying that my ambitions does not for me, my ambitions does not cloud my compassion, right? You can have compassion for other people and their position without losing your greatness and your ambition and what it is you're trying to strive, right? And I think that comes from understanding, wait, first and foremost, what is my purpose? What is my life purpose? Again, I said there was two things. We're born and we will die. In the middle is where the purpose lies for me, right? Because that determines your livelihood, your longevity, your moving forward, right? Ambition does not have to cloud compassion. And we'll make sure, yes, it doesn't have to cloud compassion. I just think you need to be convicted in knowing what it is that you're striving for and or who's plugged into you to make sure that you achieve that. You don't have to be railroaded by striving for greater things. So let me just say this and pass this, Dr. Hayes, you can answer the question. I know that you are in the position as a leader in a church, right? And when you are in a position of leading people for whatever that reason is, I don't want to get very religious or spiritual in the conversation, but I do want to say that I'm sure that when you're in the position of achieving that mission with your congregation, you're not losing the compassion for the ones that you're speaking to. I would think that. Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have a problem with that. But I don't think that would be the case. When I show up for work and I'm working with people in the capacity in which I work. Sorry, guys, I'm moving around a little bit. My seat wants to do its own thing. When I am striving to help people, my ambition, when I show up to work, baby, trust and believe it's not the money, right? Trust me, it's not the money. Guys, I'm sorry. Let me just move this chair because this chair is acting a whole kind of fool. It's not the money. Because if you ask me and those who I work with, many of them would tell you, you're definitely underpaid. I don't go in and say, I'm going to just do the bare minimum according to what my pay scale is, right? I'm not doing that. I'm going to show up in a way that requires me to do my best, right? And I'm not going to let my ambition for wanting to help people judge my compassion. I'm just not going to do that. I think people do that. And oh gosh, speaking of that, going back to the show that I put to the side, micromanaging, I've seen people ambition cloud their compassion. They will step on the necks of other people for the ambition that they have and show no compassion at all. None at all. People tend to think you don't care when you are climbing away from them. Thank you. No, very true. Very true. People tend to think that you don't care when you are climbing away from them. But I tell people all the time, especially in the work I do, when people are coming to me, and a lot of people that come to me in my 9-to-5 job, outside of my other job, they are very much confused about they'll be like, oh, you don't understand. You don't understand. And I'm like, listen, I do understand. But here's the thing. I always use this metaphor. And a lot of time people can't get it because they've never been in that position. So I use the metaphor of flying on a plane. I says, listen, if you're on a plane and that plane becomes distressed, the stewardess, before you take off, they tell you, these are the things you need to do to preserve your life. This is what you need to do. So if this plane starts to lose oxygen, and you got your children with you and you're there, you got 3 kids or 2 kids or whatever many kids you want, and you're there, and there's pressure losing in the plane, what do? You start losing oxygen. They were like, oh my God, I put my mask on my children. I make sure my mother-in-law who's elderly. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. At least not the first thing. The first thing you do is put your own mask on. Because once you put your own preserve on, your own life mask on, you can then start to assist other people. So when I am talking about greatness, showing up in my greater me, the greatest I can be that day. And let me tell you something. Sometimes my greatness meter is lower than I want it to be. That's why it's so important for me to have people who are plugged into me, that care about me, that is invested in me, that believe in me and what it is I'm striving to do or become, right? It's so important, because when my oxygen mask is weak, it's giving very little oxygen, I need someone that says, well, wait a minute. Oh, don't you worry. I got you. I got you. You're not by yourself. You're not alone. I got you. Now, I know some people that have me. And sometimes I know that I have to even tell those individuals, I need you to, okay, I've known you for 12 years and you've been giving me the same plug-in energy. I don't want to disconnect from you because what you've given me is not helping it. That ran out some time ago. Like, you can't fill your tank and drive from here to Timbuktu and then go back to Timbuktu again on the same gas. You can't. You have to plug in, get more gas, get more fuel, get something that's going to help you propel to the next chapter, next level, next destination. So when people want to climb away from you because you have an expectation that, listen, you have a purpose in my life. I'm not just friends with you, in a relationship with you, connected to you because I'm bored. I'm invested in this relationship because it brings value to both you and I. I'm connected to you. This is not like Lakeisha said, reciprocity. I don't expect you to give, and give me some more, give, and give me a little bit more, and I'm not giving you anything back. And understand that when giving, I don't have the expectation that you need to give, but it sure is nice that you do. It is sure nice that you show up and plug into that space. Absolutely. And if that makes you uncomfortable, then you are teaching me that you don't understand my greatness and don't respect it. Therefore, you can't be plugged into it. And I have to be okay with that. Going back to the last comment that Dr. Hayes says, people tend to think you don't care when you are climbing away from them. I cannot, by no means necessary, allow myself to go down on the ship with you because you were not willing to put a life vest on for yourself and also extend one to me. No. So you can call it what you want to call it. You can judge it the way you see it. That would be totally up to you. But also, striving for greatness with relationships, let me rephrase that. Striving for greatness with yourself through the relationships you're connected to require you to be honest. And when someone you're connected to or supposed to be connected to you is not giving you or measuring up, it's okay for you to say, well, listen here. Can we talk? Can we have a conversation? Because I need to tell you something. And I know, OMG, because I've been there. Some people, it's just already defensive, can't accept or appreciate you being honest by telling them, I need you. You could just ghost a person and be like, well, listen, honey, they're not giving me what I need, so I'm out. There's no reason for me to stand by here. There's no reason for me to be invested because you're totally not. So I'm just going to ghost you. I won't even need to talk about it. I'm not even saying goodbye. I'm just walking away, right? That's not me. I don't even like to be pushed into that position because how could I expect that you understood that there was something I need from you because I'm going someplace in this and I need you to recognize it. You got to recognize it first so you can do something different in it. You can't I'm going to do something different, but you don't recognize it. And you know what? I've learned it's okay when people climb away from you. It's okay. It may hurt, but baby, it hurts longer and stings worse when you continue to keep investing in something that's not invested in you. Period. Okay, Lakeisha. That is dependent on how you treat people, though. IMO. I'm sorry, Lakeisha, I don't know what that means. Everyone cannot go with you into the new season. So true. Everyone's not meant to go with you into the new season. I mean, I don't like seasonal relationships, which is why I invest in my relationships full heartedly. I don't like a seasonal relationship, right? So I don't want to make this spiritual. I don't like a seasonal relationship. I don't like a relationship that, well, you're going to just serve me for this purpose and that's it. I, for me, I'm being selfish. I don't think that's the right thing for me to do. So when I go into it, I don't put a ending chapter on it. I am going to invest, and I'm hoping to gain and hoping that we can gain multiple chapters in this relationship. That's what I'm hoping for. But I do agree with you, Lakeisha. Everyone can't go with you into the new season. Some people you do need to cut off, climb away from, as Dr. Hayes said. I'm just waiting to see if anyone else has anything else to say. I'm hoping that you would understand. I hope that you give this context, this conversation context, some consideration. I'm hoping that you can see through the passion. I'm not apologizing for my passion, but see through the passion and see the message within the message. We are meant to do great things with our lives. We are. And there will be times that through the seasons, let me use what Lakeisha talked about, that you are going to find those individuals plugging into that greatness of yours or helping you cultivate it. And you're going to find people threatened by it. Therefore, they try to put a wet blanket on it or run away from you. I think through it all, I guess we should be okay and happy with that, because with that happening, we are learning that the person that we were invested in was not invested in us. So therefore, we should not continue to waste time in that space. Even if that person is very close to you. Even if that person say they have you, they love you, you've known them since you were a kid, they sign your paycheck, whatever. You know when someone is showing up for you. You don't need a rocket scientist to pop you over the head with this magical dust to say, hey, they really aren't there for you. I think many of us settle for the relationships we have instead of either cultivating those relationships and being honest and saying, I need you to do this. I'm no longer going to wait for you to figure it out, because in the time I stood back waiting for you to figure it out, you couldn't figure it out. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to spell it out for you. This is what I need from you. I need you right now in this conversation to tell me, can you measure up and meet me there, or this is impossible and you don't want to? And oh my gosh, it does hurt. I've been there. I am not great. I've been there. I have been hurt by people who just refuse to show up for me when I thought that they would, because they said they would, or because they would come in and out once in a blue moon. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm still holding on to it. I'm holding on. It's possible go unchanged. And it does not. We need to stop wasting time, people. Tomorrow's not promised to you. And the very people you're plugged into, waiting for them to show up for you when you're dead and gone, now they remember everything, possibly. Or they was like, oh my gosh, really? I should have. I should have. Yeah, okay. All right. I thought this conversation was worth having. I'm hoping that you walk away from the conversation more insightful about your potential, and that you striving for greater in your life is a good thing, that you are not settling for just anything. That's what the purpose of this conversation was. And as much as there's a thing as I minister to you through this conversation, I minister to myself. Right? That's what I'm doing. All right, people. That's the show. That is the show. I'm hoping that what I shared earlier about you not finding it robbery to click the share button, because I'm telling you, this very conversation that I had with many others, but let's keep it about this one, specifically about this one. I'm sure we all know somebody or multiple people who could benefit from this conversation. I know what I just shared was not in vain. I know that what I said has substance, because first, I did my own research on me. Then I looked into the topic through other research channels. I've had conversations with people. So I'm not just here filling the airtime with just sharing this with you guys. I'm here sharing this because I did the work. And as I continue to live and breathe, I continue to do the work. Diamond, if no one shows up for you, girl, show up for you. And be the example of what you expect. Not plead, expect that people would do for you. It's okay to have that expectation. It is. And no one's going to make me feel guilty for having it. I will learn if you don't give it. All right. Okay. Yeah, I saw that comment, Lakeisha. Thank you for sharing that. And I agree with you. Some are. All right, listen, we're at 319 subscribers, and I think a handful of people show up. But thank you for subscribing to the channel. I'm hoping that now that you've subscribed, those of you who just subscribed will come back and be a part of the conversation. It's an hour or less of your time, and it's entertaining and informative. So please continue to keep coming back. And those of you who don't come at all, I hope you will at some point join us. All right. Thank you so much, guys. I'm so glad that you came to spend some time with me. I'm hoping that you will remember that it is important to love on you. Then you will learn how to love on others. Be good to one another, as I hope this conversation was to you. And I hope to see you next week for a full new conversation. Until then, be well and be blessed. Bye.